Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is a report to Egyptian Attorney General and my certification to the United States Congress hearing committee, the Egyptian Rights Caucus. This is the third message. Sorry, here we are in Giza, 4th February, the year 2021. It's about violating the Egyptian constitution with the aim of seizing the money of Egyptian by Egyptian army. The army seized the lands under the pretext of military mandate and protection. They take the loans under the name of international corporation. They take the budget under the name of the pretext of direct attribution of projects. They take the top jobs under the pretext of loyalty and grant the aid under the pretext of national service. They take the assets of the state under the name of Long Life Egypt Yahya Tahya Masr Fund, all of which violate the Egyptian constitution. The army received more than $20 billion from the Gulf aid. Nothing is known about it. Became the supervisor and the first watcher of the economy by protecting the strategic assets of their main investment partners in period of turmoil and controlling bidding process for basic government procurement. There was a press conference held by Supreme Council in the year 2012. The Deputy Minister of Defense for Financial Affairs, Major General Staff Mohammed Nasr, unveiled the annual revenues of the Army's economic activities with $198 million, and its percentage in the state budget was 4.2%. You have to ask now how much. Now you have to ask how much this stylus arrived now in Egypt. The new military system enhanced the ability of Egyptian armed force to transfer all state funds to projects in which it has an interest supporting military companies. Own banks and distributing desired contracts, financing to retired officer companies. In the year 2014, a decree was issued by the military backed Syrian government to expand the ability of ministers to sign single source contracts, which led to the transfer of huge portion of public investments to military companies and their partners, who were also awarded with the important service contracts. They took the important service contracts, including long concessions to create some of the besides highways in Egypt and charging for their use, of course. As usual, many of the military groups follow similar paths. That's very well known. Initial popular support, in the beginning, popular support to overthrow unpopular civilian government, followed by a period during which the army consolidates its power and becomes more repressive and corrupt of its personnel and officers. Here we say we should mention that the police are involved in practicing daily violence and consortium against activities of ordinary citizens, that the Ministry of Interior is at the same time executing the army's orders and scapegoating its citizenry, and the army deals with it like a punching bag. Yes. Here we say the current hegemony of the Egyptian army, which enjoys neither popular support nor Gulf aid. Right now, the Egyptian army doesn't enjoy neither popular support nor Gulf aid. Leaves American policy makers with significant means of pressure on Cairo regarding human rights and political reform, with the exception of stopping military aid and the ability of United States military industry lobbies to dictate export policy by preventing lax laws, America, which regulates the sale of military spare parts and illicit spreads of military technology, all of which has increasingly contributed with weakening of ability of United States policymakers to use military aid as a form of influence, unless the United States government is prepared to impose a ban on the export of desired military materials or for the spare parts. The Egyptian armed forces will be able to obtain what they need through regular procurement channels. The institutional priorities will be collide with the professional and financial aspirations of high-rank officers, many of whom believe that Sisi presidency allows them to obtain privileges. A number of retired generals in the Egyptian armed forces have reaped large profits from the United States military aid contracts, yes, by working as service providers in private sector, leasing warehouses, coordinating the logistics of shipping, and providing all services to facilitate the work of military aid program. Many observers consider the United States aid program to be essentially a gift to senior Egyptian officers, and the opinion of ordinary conscripts and officers' corps in program should be similarly positive, and in any army, including the alleged Egyptian army, loyalty and institutional cohesion is a fundamental requirement. It's a fundamental requirement that no armed forces leadership can ignore. Now, now it is unreasonable. I say it's not unreasonable for the United States government to continue assisting the army despite the failure of economic, social, environmental, or humanity, about the human rights reform and transform. They transform the sustainable development to blackmail to the Egyptians, or even improve accountability for oversight procedures. That's yours, and this, and that was my message, the third message. Thank you.